Today let's talk about embarrassing stories.
You're standing up there and you're so scared.
All right, story time. Imagine 5-year-old version of Joe. Believe it or not, I was super cute and I had long curly hair. And for some reason, it was a piano recital and I was supposed to sing the theme song to Winnie the Pooh. And it was supposed to go something like this. Now, obviously this would be an octave up because I was 5, but it should have been something like this. You get the idea. Well, for some reason, and I still to this day don't know why, I decided, or I was freaked out, and I started singing an octave lower than I was supposed to, and I continued throughout the entire song, the whole thing. So it was more like this. Deep in the and you could see on the faces of everyone, something's not right with this kid. But I went through the whole like, Winnie the Pooh, like the whole thing, but down an octave, and it was hilarious and also traumatizing.
I wish you would sing, I wish you would sing.
You see, here's the thing. That could be one of those defining stories in my life, right? One of those things that I said, I attempted something, I failed at it, and therefore I shall never sing in front of anyone again. Thankfully, my mom, who played piano, met me backstage, cheered me up, wiped away the tears and said, let's go do it again. So she came out with me the second time and she played with me and she kind of hummed along to make sure I started in the right freaking octave. And it went well. And I don't know if, certainly can't say if I had not gone back out and done it again, if I would have given up music forever. I was only 5. But it's possible, right? Now take the Winnie the Pooh story, fast forward about 30 years, and a few weeks ago I was playing a show at the Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville. My friend Treva invited me to come play with her. I'd never played the Bluebird before. I was super excited, but I did something a little embarrassing. So it's not completely my fault. So at the Bluebird, you've probably heard of it, you play shows either on the stage or you play them in the round. Literally in a circle in the middle of the room and everyone's around you. So while I'm playing, literally I could move my elbow back and knock over this guy's drink at his table. It's intimate. But the position I was in, if I looked straight across my microphone to the far wall by the bar, there was this picture. And early on, like, I think the first song that I played, I made a joke at the beginning of, it's gonna be hard to play these songs with Jeff Bridges looking at me. And it got a few laughs and everybody thought it was fun. At the end of the show, somebody comes up to me and says, hey man, you know that's not Jeff Bridges, right? That's Chris Christopherson. And I said, my immediate response was, well, that just makes it even funnier. But I kept having this pit in my stomach every time I've thought about it since of, there were people in that room who thought this guy's an idiot. And it was a stupid thing to say. It's a little embarrassing. To me, it's just funny, but it has that tinge of, man, I'm embarrassed. To be fair, they could be identical twins. But reality is that was one of the best nights I've had as a musician ever. I hadn't played in front of people in a while, and I told my wife, I just felt like I came alive. I had so much joy, I felt engaging with the crowd, and I didn't even play or sing that well, but it was just a blast. And it would be a crime to allow that stupid Jeff Bridges mistake to cast a shadow over the entire evening, which was a wonderful evening that I will remember for a really, really long time. So what does this have to do with you in your studio? Well, you're not. I would argue it has everything to do with you in your studio. There are so many people who, they hold off on making the music they want to make, on taking the chances they want to take, on putting themselves at risk for fear of being embarrassed. You might hear my Winnie the Pooh story and you just makes you want to curl up in a ball and say, I would never want that to happen. Or the embarrassing thing at the Bluebird. Or I've done this 1,000 times over in the studio, whether it's bad performances, playing the wrong chord at a live show that really messes up the song, to one of my EPs in 2017, I recorded with the compressor on the snare drum way too aggressive, and the snare was essentially ruined. And that was a session with Brent Milligan, who is one of the best producers I've ever known and worked with, and he happened to be available to play bass, and I ruined the snare drum recording. That's super embarrassing. But it turned out okay. But that seems to be the way life is. You can be over here, where it's safe and comfortable and warm, and you can go over here where you've done things that make you proud, things that were exciting, things that made you come alive. And to get from here to here, you usually have to jump over something that could potentially be embarrassing. You probably will be embarrassed at some point on the way from here to here. And I think all I want to say to you is that's normal. It's normal. If you avoid all embarrassment for the rest of your life, there's a good chance you won't have done things that you really wanted to do. So, take some advice from a kid who sang like a dying frog. Go for the thing. If it embarrasses you, it doesn't kill you. And then move on and make some music.
'Cause we need to